This is just one of the ideas that we'll talk about today.
One of many.
Yeah, we'll go fast. We'll do our best to go fast. So Maslow's hierarchy of needs, um, we're gonna basically what it is it's an idea in psychology, right? And can you just
Yeah.
admit people?
Yep. Mhm.
And so it's a pyramid that basically it, it puts it puts your priorities in terms of like your psychology in order from lowest to highest. And so the very lowest pillar, we should just pull it up if we can, but
Here,
yeah, just show them this real quick here. Oh, here.
get one that you like.
It's like this, okay? If you're not familiar with Maslow's hierarchy of needs, just Google it. But it is, it's just, um, it's just a pyramid showing, your needs. I need to drink water real quick. Can you just review it? Can you just read from bottom to top?
Bottom to top.
Yeah.
Is that okay? So first, first you have the physiological needs, and that's breathing, obviously, otherwise you're dead. Food, water, shelter, clothing, and sleep, right? Oh, it makes sense why it's on the bottom. It's like the foundation of things, right?
You can't do anything without it.
So you have your
Yeah.
physiological needs, which is the one in red, right? So that's just like the basics of living. And then the next one is safety and security, which is health, employment, property, family, and social ability. That's the orange one. So then the next one is love and belonging, friendship, family, intimacy, sense of connection, right? That's where like you have your communities, whether you have this community, you have other communities. It's just a sense of belonging and having love within those communities, right? Um, the next one is self-esteem. So confidence, achievement, respect of others, the need to be a unique individual. So you build your self-esteem through your individuality, right? So it's having confidence in yourself, achieving things, respecting others, and being just unique, right? Because we're all different in our own ways and we all have different abilities, right? And then self-actualization, morality, creativity, spontaneity, acceptance, experience, purpose, meaning, and inner potential. So that is the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and starting from the bottom, which is your foundation, and then you are working your way up.
Yes. Yeah. So now, like, why is this important? This is for everyone. The reason why this is important is because with the very first one, psychological needs, like that's your safety, right? What is that?
It keeps popping up. You got to get rid of
Okay,
it for me later.
that's your safety. And basically, like if you don't have like food, if you don't have shelter, if you don't have money, basically, then you're always gonna have a mindset of scarcity because your environment is always affecting you, it's always influencing you. So now how do you overcome that when you have no money? It's because it's your mindset again. It goes back to that. And so when it comes to this right here, like there's going to be people that, come into your life, that join your team, that they're just financially, like they're not in a good place. And so that forces them into scarcity. That forces them into a mindset of fear automatically. And the thing is, like, what's going to combat that? It's the mindset. It's working on your mind. It's working on yourself, your skills. It's understanding like the personal development side of things. Because once you start to train yourself from scarcity into abundance in terms of mindset, that's when you start to unlock the being. It's like be do have. That's when you start to unlock like, all right, here's my new future for myself. So when it comes to business in the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right, we're going to apply this psychological map into your business. The first one, right, psychological needs of breathing, food, water, shelter, clothing, etc., right? The physical scarcity in your business. When you first start out your business, the goal is to overcome that first need. Does that make sense? The goal is to overcome that first need. How does your business sustain? How does it breathe? How does it grow? It's with sales. Okay. It's with sales. It's with revenue increasing. It's with just money coming in the door. That's it. So the second thing is safety and security, right? Safety and security is health, employment, property, family, and social ability, right? It's basically like the next step. It's just what is the next layer to your business? And again, that if you think about like the 5 pillars of massive scale, right? Foundation, system, automation, scale, and then expand or exit. The foundation is kind of like the same exact thing with Maslow's hierarchy of needs of just the basic necessity. Just how are you sustaining your business and making sure that it just stays alive, right? What systems you have when it comes to your sales coming in? How many days of the year is your business open, right? And then not only that, but what sales channels do you have open, right? Well, how is the sales flows coming in? How are sales coming in? Is the sales dependent solely on you? Or is the sales dependent on your team? Or is it dependent on your employees? Is it dependent on social media? What is your the sales flow dependent on? So this right here, psychological needs. When it comes to like your business, your online business, right? If you're not on social media or you don't have like reels going or you don't have like paid advertisement going for you, what sales channels open? DMs are always open, right? Maybe your comment section leads to those DMs. It's the same exact thing. When it comes to in person, like a brick and mortar, or if you're doing networking events, you're going one-on-one, right? That you can close deals like that by talking, by using your voice, by speaking with others, by connecting, by networking, business networking, right? So this right here, like this is the psychological need, right? If you look at it when it comes to your business, if you're not fulfilling the psychological need, right? The very first need of just living, of your business, of just being able to breathe, getting sales in the door, then you're always going to be in a place as an entrepreneur of where is the next sale? And that leads to you being desperate and thirsty. It leaves you in a position of like less power in a sense because you're not in more control, right? And as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, you should be in control of your business at all times, because if you're not, that's where like those little doubts come in. That's where like, oh, the fear comes in. That's where all these other things come in, where there's lack of control basically. And business, like this is something I learned from Tony Robbins. He talks about the science of achievement. This is the beauty, okay? The science of achievement, it basically is saying that no matter what success you're pursuing, if it's in an industry that has already been here for a few years, then guess what? That means that there must be a blueprint that you can model to the T to achieve that success. That's why they call it the science of achievement. The science is a proven step-by-step plan. Let's say, for example, in real estate, who here is involved with real estate? Who here is involved with investing in real estate? Who here has purchased a home, right? All these things. When it comes to real estate, even as a real estate agent, right? When it comes to being a real estate agent, there is a blueprint. There's a science behind being successful in real estate, simply because how many people have already done it? How many people have already proven it? With Thrive, true or not true, that there are people who are super successful in Thrive. What did they do? What was their blueprint? IPAs, right? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This right here, the science of achievement, can be applied to everything, any industry. One of the newest industries right now that's disrupting everything, AI. So it's technology. Guess what? AI has been around for years though. It's been around for decades. It just was not in our mind, right? For those who are not in the industry. But it's already been applied. Like Google search, everything's already been there. So what is the science? Where can you find the science of achievement? How can you find someone that you can model? So if you're going back to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, psychological needs, right? The safety aspect first. If you're brand new to Thrive, you're a brand new promoter, IPA is the only thing you need to think about, right? In my opinion.
Yeah.
Why? Because you need to overcome the very first layer, just the fact of the fact of the psychological need, the fact of You need to just be able to breathe, right? That's it. Then once you get to there, the next step is the safety part. The next step is how do you actually overcome and start to go more into abundance. So did you want to add to that?
Well, okay. So most of the time when you start like a side business on the side of everything else that you do, it is tied to a financial matter, right?
Yeah.
Like, if it wasn't tied to a financial matter, like then you would just stay a customer, because what's the difference, right? Like you could still refer people, you could still help people, and you could still get credits for yourself, right? So the first thing is physiological needs, and having a side hustle or something part-time on the side. Most of the time it's for financial matters, because who doesn't need more money, want more money to do more things, right? Regardless of where you're at, you're always going to want or need more, because that's just the world that we live in, right? So sometimes people are like, oh, it's not all about money. And I'm like, yeah, sure. Like you only need it to live. Like you only need it to have a roof over your head and food and clothes on your back and transportation, right? To get to like a job or what have you. So when it comes to, if we're going to talk about like a business specifically, like if your business is not making money, you really don't have a business, right? Because then what are you doing, right? Like if you don't have money coming in, you don't have a business, right? So what are you going to do? Like how are you going to survive? Like how can you be an entrepreneur if there's no money coming into your business? Like then what are you doing? Like do you have a job at least to keep you stable? Do you have like a significant other that's, covering you while you figure it out? So in a business, if we were to tie in the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, it would be money, right? So income producing activities, like if you don't need to know all the things, but you do at least need to know how to produce income, because in any business, it's money first, right? And if
Yeah.
you don't have money coming in, forget about everything else. Forget about trying to set up operations and setting up systems and like thinking about how you're going to scale. You haven't even started at the base of, how do I make money doing this? What do I need to do? And how do I get really good at what I need to do to bring the money in? Because
Yeah.
once the money comes in, from there, you have data. Okay, how did I did it? Like, how did I do it? What works? What doesn't work? How can I get better? Right. So also, being an entrepreneur is like, it's a mindset thing, right? It's a mindset thing, and it's constantly evolving, and you need to constantly evolve with the business and with all the things that happen. Otherwise you're never going to be able to like keep going up to like the next levels, right?
Exactly.
So that's how I would tie in physiological needs to a business, is the income producing activities that's going to create the income or the funds to be able to scale to the next step.
Yes, that's actually really perfect. I just wanted to bring this up so I can show. But yeah, so that's the first step. Okay. So let's say, for example, like you're doing Thrive, you're doing anything part-time, because everything starts off part-time, right? Especially in business. So once you start off, that's the first thing. Don't focus on anything else except for IPA. And when you have a full-time job, the goal is to keep that job as long as possible while you're building everything else on the side. Because that's why they say it's work full-time in your job and part-time in your fortune. It's because you're able to make a full-time income part-time. That's where the magic happens. If you're able to do that, why not do that for as long as possible, right? So it just depends on your situation, depends on your goals, depends on what you want to do. But that's the first thing. IPA is always number one. That's where your sales channel, that's your sales flow comes in and play. And then once you do that, the next thing is safety needs, right? Personal security, employment, resources, health, property, right? That right there, that's basically like your layer number two, where you're able to start to step away from the scarcity and step more into abundance, not just on a mindset, like not a mindset wise, but physically, like in the physical world. Because your mindset right here, it's true that you can have $0 and be full in full abundance, because that's mindset. It's everything is mental, all is mind. So it's all in your mind. Whatever you think, whatever you think about, right? In The Secret, whatever you think about is what you bring about. So you want to obviously always work on the mindset, right? Carol Dweck's book, Mindset, is a really good book to pick up and just to start listening to. If you really want to stretch this is what I'm doing. If you want to stretch your vision, you want to stretch what's possible, you want to just find more clues, you want to see like what is out there. How can you expand your creativity? How can you expand your vision? How can you expand your mind? Like what is possible? Start to learn from people who are billionaires. Start to learn from people who have done amazing things. Start to learn from people who have changed history. Start to learn from the people that they have books on their autobiographies, that they have books on all their failures, that they have books and knowledge and wisdom and information and experiences and interviews, etc., out there for you to just grab and to just study and to learn. That's what I'm doing right now. One of the books that I'm reading is from Steven Schwarzman. That's a $1 trillion company right there. 1 trillion, not billion, but trillion. And I'm almost done with his book. I have like 1 hour left, but he talks about a lot of different setbacks. He talks about his mistakes that he's gone through. He talks about what made it possible for him to succeed like right now. And it's crazy because you get to relive all the experiences based on what they're sharing inside the book. So it's the same exact thing. You want to find out who is achieving the success that you want to achieve, and where can you find those clues? It's the science of achievement. How can you remap and remodel all those things that you want to achieve? There's someone, I guarantee you, there's someone in the world out there that you can probably model. Have you found them yet? And if you're not, if you haven't even started looking, why not? Right? Why not? Why not do a little digging? Why not do a little research? Why not be a student? Why not like go search and be curious, right? So that right there again, okay, the science of achievement, like everyone who is in a position of financial distress, like it's just about income producing activities. The next thing right there is about obviously, getting to the next level, expanding. Okay. I'm gonna skip around a little bit, but love and belonging, friendship, intimacy, family, sense of connection, all these things. Can you find this, babe?
What?
On here? Well, you can just show them on your phone.
Right here. You have it right here.
No, it doesn't load. It doesn't load properly.
No, you gotta scroll. That's why, 'cause I'm on the same one.
Oh,
You gotta scroll.
trying to make this easier, but it's not easier. Is this making sense so far? Right here, can you guys see this? This is what it is. If you can pull it up on your phone or just write it down, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So love and belonging is your social. It's like your social, like networking, relationships, right? Then from there, it's esteem, right? So respect, self-esteem. Oh, thank you, Lena. Perfect.
Oh, cool.
Thank you. Excellent. Yeah, so
In
esteem.
the chat.
Yeah, so it's in the chat. Thank you. So esteem, respect, self-esteem, status, recognition, strength, freedom. That right there is when you're now a public figure. When you're a public, there's many ways to obviously dissect this, but I'm just talking about this in terms of personal branding, okay, in social media, in marketing, in entrepreneurship, in business, right? How do you apply this psychology, this roadmap onto your business? So esteem can come from personal branding. It can come from you showing your face online. It comes from you networking in person, right? On social media, Instagram is just basically a big network, okay? So it's a big networking like thing online. And then the last one is self-actualization, which is desire to become the most that one can become, right? That means that it's what is the future version of yourself that you're aspiring to be? Who are you? Why are you working so hard on yourself? Where are you going? What is the vision of your best version of yourself? What is that? What does that look like? How are you painting that? What does that in your mind, in your future, in your dreams, in your goals? Who is your future version of yourself that you need to become? And that's why you're working so hard. That's why you show up on Fire Hour. That's why you show up at 6 a.m. on these Zooms, right? Some people show up on this when they're at work. That's what I did. Guess what? Why not? So where are you in this place? When it comes to your business, where is your business? Is your business in, psychological needs right now, in scarcity? Or is it in safety, right? Where is it at? And I'm pretty sure that we can actually transition this into into business. I'm pretty sure someone's already done it. I'm pretty sure there's something out there. I'm gonna just use AI right now, Chat GPT.
I mean, I feel like this reminded me of like your 5 pillars of scale, of massive scale when I saw it. So when I saw it, I was like, how does this relate to business? Because this is like about a person, right? But then when you change it into business, it's like it made me think of the pyramid that you drew for the 5 pillars of massive scale.
Yeah,
So
it reminded me of it too. Yeah,
yeah.
so this is what I did. I put into ChatGPT, right? AI. Use AI.
Mm-hmm.
I was down for an entire week from Sunday to Sunday.
I feel like longer than that.
I was, yeah. I basically like my body shut down on me. And so I was out. I was bedridden basically for an entire more than a week. And that was this past like week or 2 weeks. And so like it reminds me of the same thing. You know, I was thinking about how can I get faster? Because I have so many things I have to handle. How can I get faster? How can I improve? How can I use less energy? How can I decrease the input, increase the output? Right? How can I do all these things? So um, I decided like while I'm laying down because I have nothing else to do besides rest, like how can I work smarter? That's the only question I ask myself. How can I work smarter? How can I leverage everything that I have so that way I can increase the results, maximize the output, and maximize all results from one decision? So there's many books that come to mind when I say that, when I ask that question. The One Thing, The Compound Effect, The Habits, the Built to Last, the Jay Abraham's books, like all these things. It just comes to mind. And so the one thing that I can think about that I can use right away, because I'm always I'm problem solving, so that way I can think 10 steps ahead from one input. It's AI. Get better at AI. That was the one answer I got. So I was like, all right, let me get better. Now I can go faster. All right. So I just put this right here, Maslow's hierarchy of needs in business terms. It says this: psychological needs, the very first layer.
Physiological.
I'm sorry, physiological needs. Employee perspective, basic salary and working conditions, including comfortable workspace, are essential for meeting employees' psychological needs, or physiological needs. Okay. Customer perspective, products or services that fulfill basic needs such as food, shelter, and clothing. This is really good information right here.
It is. I skimmed through it. It's really good.
Number 2, safety needs. We're gonna go fast and then we're gonna move on. Safety needs, employee perspective, job security, a safe working environment, and health benefits contribute to fulfilling safety needs, right? Health benefits, that's always a plus. Customer perspective, trust and reliability in products or services, as well as guarantees and warranties. 100%. If you can do that, then why wouldn't customers who need your service or product buy from you? Why would they not? You already guarantee it. If there's a certainty to it. This is really powerful stuff. Love and belonging. Employee perspective, building a sense of community within the workplace, fostering positive relationships and promoting teamwork. Customer perspective, social aspects of products or services, such as community building, features, or loyalty programs. This is something that I shouldn't disclose, but I'll just omit the brand name. Yesterday I was at the shop. We have we have a opportunity or chance to collaborate with a very big name brand that's a shoe company that every single person here on the planet would know. And we're thinking about how can we how can we collab with them? So it would be a partnership between this brand and Star Motorworks, right? Our brand. And we're going to be donating to an orphanage in Mexico. And what the orphanage, it's a bunch of children. It's like 50 children, and they have a wish list of what they want, which is they actually want winter clothes. So we're trying to get. I didn't tell you this yet. We're trying to get
I saw
hoodies.
it in the chat a little bit, so I was like, okay, I'll just wait until you get home to ask.
Yeah, I just haven't had time.
Yeah.
But we're gonna be printing out this type of sweater. And that way they have winter clothes to wear, and they're gonna have shoes, a brand name shoe inside, like just gifted, donated to them, and that's what they want. And so we're able to do that. So that's that's what we're gonna do. Anyways.
Yeah, I saw the bullet points in the chat and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna wait till you come home and talk about it because I'm pretty sure you guys are having a lot of discussions and it's kind of like you just dump it and then we just discuss later.
Yeah, we just gotta do it. So we're in the works of that. That's why I need to go to the shop
We
today.
gotta have a timeline.
It's as soon as possible.
Did you guys talk to your finance department yet?
No, not yet. Just Anyways, so that's just one thing, right? There's so many people out there who can, if you have income, you have money, and obviously you have a budget, then why not do some good in the world, right? Wherever that's needed. With children, especially, children are the future. Why not do our best to support our children in any way, shape, or form that we can? Especially that's one that's gonna help them with their physiological needs. This goes to the Maslow's hierarchy of needs that we're talking about, like the shelter, right there. Air, water, food, shelter, sleep, clothing, reproduction, right? Which is like,
There's reproduction.
I mean, there is, yeah. Sorry, yeah, there is, yeah.
What are you thinking about?
I'm thinking about the children. So, thank you. Yeah. So, anyways, going back, right? Customer perspective, love and belonging, like that is community building right there. That is, it's not about us, it's about them, it's about the community, it's about who can we help. Why do we do Fire Hour? This is a free business. This is a free business session right here. It's business strategy, personal development, mindset, achieving wealth in all aspects of your life, not just financial, but everything. This is what we're talking about. So number 4, esteem, which is the fourth layer. Esteem needs, right? Employee perspective, recognition, career advancement opportunities, and a positive work culture contributing to fulfilling esteem needs, right? How, if you have employees, how do you make them feel good? If you have a boss, how is your boss making you feel good? Are they even thinking about that? Do they even care, right? This is things to think about. You are living your one life that you have. Why not put yourself in a position where you're able to be treated your best, right? Customer perspective, products or services that enhance the user's self-esteem or status. Let me share with you this. Esteem, okay, this goes back, let's say, for example, with the auto shop. The reason why clients go to us, like AMG clients, is simply because what is the AMG, like what is their vehicle doing for them? It makes them feel good. It fulfills their happiness. So that's why they put their money into their vehicles. And so when they're driving now, like when you take a turn and that seat hugs your body, it feels so good. I'm telling you right now, okay? So that right there, and then when you rev it and you're not even going fast, but you're just pushing like your foot to the pedal, and then you kind of get like that like that force that you feel. Like that feels good, okay? So that's why they do it. That right there is esteem needs. A product or service meeting someone's need.
Quality too, right? Like we have the Lamborghini or Ferrari of vitamins, right?
Yeah.
So like, what are you providing to your customers? What quality is there? What's going to make them feel good, right? Like, are they even going to feel it, right? People need to like feel something, see something, touch something of quality in order to really help them feel confident in what they're doing or what they're purchasing or what service that, they're getting.
100%. Yeah. So this is something for Resurreccion Media, right? This is one of the things that I always go to is achieving local celebrity status. Why? Well, on the business side, it achieves so many things, but on the personal side, on the self-esteem side, you feel good when you get recognized. You feel good when a fan wants to take a picture with you. You feel good when you start to get free stuff. You feel good when all these things happen because of your status. That's why we achieve that. Okay, that's one of the reasons why we achieve it. Number 5, self-actualization, employee perspective, providing opportunities for personal and professional growth, encouraging creativity and innovation. 100%. Like why stop and not evolve, right? Just continue to push the barriers, continue to push it. Customer perspective, products or services that help customers reach their full potential or express their individuality, right? Individuality. That right there. Like think about it in your business. How is your business achieving all these things, all these milestones, these efforts? This is a checklist right here, right? I'm gonna put this into a checklist, and that way I can see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, this is powerful. So, and then it says this: It says this, just to wrap this up. In the business world, understanding and addressing these needs can lead to higher employee satisfaction, engagement, and productivity. Additionally, meeting customer needs at different levels of the hierarchy can contribute to brand loyalty and customer satisfaction. Companies that prioritize both employee and customer needs across these levels are likely to build stronger and more sustainable relationships. Keep in mind that the application of Maslow's hierarchy of needs in business, in a business context, is a conceptual framework rather than a strict formula, and individual needs and priorities may vary, obviously, right? How do you cater this framework? This is a framework right here. How can you cater this framework to your business today? How do you apply it today? And don't think about it too much, okay? This is the trick. You don't want to spend hours thinking about this. You want to spend hours testing this, okay? Test everything. You want to test this. How can you test one thing? You have it's called split testing, A/B testing. You have a control factor which is successful or achieved a result. Now, whatever that is, whatever result that is, you just make a test, create an experiment, and test it right away as fast as humanly possible. So you collect the data as fast as humanly possible, and then from there you get the results. Then you analyze it, you rinse, repeat, do it over and over again. Whichever result got better, test it again, stick with that. That's now the control. Create a new experiment, create a new idea, test it against the control, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. Okay. That's how you do split testing. That's with every single aspect of your business. Always test everything in your business. Okay. That's just what I recommend. But that's after obviously, the IPAs are in, the money's coming in, right? If you have a way to make money, like boom, keep that in. Don't test that, right? You could test that later on, but keep that flow in and then set up another way to make income. Set another way to make income. It's all to one income though, okay? So let's talk about Thrive. Just real quick. With Thrive, it's just one thing that you're trying to get everyone on. Get people on Thrive, right? Get people on Thrive. How? IPA. That's it, okay? That's all it is. So that's the one thing. But how do you increase the sales flow to that one thing? It's in person, so online and offline. Offline is in-person networking. It's speaking at events. It's going on podcasts. It's getting interviewed. It's networking. Okay, it's showing up. Online, it's the same thing, showing up, but through social media, stories, reels, posts, lives, everything on social media. Okay. Those are your two flows. Those are your two ins for sales. Now, how do you maximize all that? Well, what other platforms are you on? Right? That's how you can maximize all the doors. Open more doors to you. Open more doors to your business. Open more doors. And not only that, here's the beauty of Thrive. This is what makes it different than everything else, is you're able to create and build your own team, your own sales team. How many doors are you opening now? How many doors is now opening because of everyone who's on your team? That's the importance of recruiting. This is the importance of recruiting. Every single business recruits. We're trying to recruit for not only the shop, for not only Resurreccion Media, but for our personal lives as well. We're recruiting personal assistants. We're recruiting personal help. We're recruiting everything and anyone who has talent that has integrity. Going back to the billionaire framework, right, of Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett, they only hire for three things: energy, intelligence, integrity. Without the third thing, integrity, forget about the first two. I highly recommend that formula to anyone who is employing other people. When it comes to your recruiting people in sales, obviously, that varies because it's about the person who's joining your team. But how do you support them? How do you foster a way where they feel supported, where they're able to achieve their goals, where they're able to hit the IPA and actually succeed? And are they doing the work? There's going to be people out there who are, they say all these things, but they don't do the work, right? As a leader, that's just something that you got to go through, right? That's something you got to grow through, okay? So that's all it is. Okay, now let's move away from this and well, you wrote some notes down. I don't know if you want to read it real quick.
Well, no, it's just, I just copied it because when you write things down, it actually puts it in your brain. So there were studies done that when you take notes, it actually like embeds in your brain. So I don't even think typing, it's not typing. It's literally like pen to paper, right? So when you write things down with your hand, you actually remember it much better than if you were just listening or if you were like typing notes out. So I like to write things down just so I really have it in my mind. So I wanted to write this down just so like I can look at it, because I feel like this is a really good framework. Yes, personally, but it's also a really good framework when you like twist it into a business perspective, because business is life. Like business is just like living, right? Like if you have a home, it's like you're a business owner, right? Like you might not make money washing the dishes or taking care of your kids, but this is still something that needs to get done, and it needs to get done to the best of your ability on a day in, day out basis, and no one else is going to do it. So just like in your home life, in your personal life, the things that you need, it literally is a mirror for business, right? Like in business, someone has to take out the trash. Someone still has to do all the things that need it to run, to operate, right? And if in your business you're not doing the things that need to get done, then who's doing it for you, and what business do you have, right? So in your home, if no one's cooking, no one's cleaning, no one's taking care of the kids, no one's paying the bills, no one's doing nothing, what home do you have? Like you don't have a home, right? Like it's not a good functioning home. So it's the same thing in a business. If in a business there's things to get done, and they may be different things than what's done in a home, but it's still the same thing, right? So business, it's not as hard as I think many people make it seem, because in your home life, when you come home or when you're home, there's things that need to get done every single day, morning to night, 7 days a week. It is the same thing for business. It is the same. Number one, you need to bring money in. If you don't bring money in, you don't have a home. You can't pay your landlord. You can't pay your mortgage. You don't have a home, right? So in your business, if you are not making money, if you are not doing the activities that create money, what business do you have? You don't have a business, right? And so from there, when you do start making money in your business, then you can start to look at other parts of your business that need to get done on a daily basis, right? Which is like housekeeping. There's things that need to get done in a business that doesn't make money, but after the things that you do in your business that make money, then you can focus on the things that don't make money, which are the things that still need to get done. But now you have more data coming in to be able to know how to allocate those resources and the proper amounts of time to it. So those are just some of the things that I was thinking about today. Like, and I think, sorry guys, I think moms make like great business owners, right? Like we have to do like 20 different things at any given time. Like you need to know what you have in your bathroom cabinet, in your like kitchen cabinet, like what cleaning supplies do you have? What food do you have? Like how much is everyone going to eat? Like how do you get groceries and make sure you don't waste it and it's allocated properly per serving, per person, per meal, right? Like these are all things that happen within a business. It's everything all at once, and you just have to dictate what's the most important and then have a system that you create for yourself, right? So business is personal, and your personal life is already a business, right? Like every day, what is your schedule like? What are you doing? What are you not doing? What aspects of your home do you take care of, right? Because in business, there's so many different aspects, right? And the more you understand all the aspects to the business, the better of a business person you're going to be. Because when something goes wrong, you're going to know what's wrong and where it's coming from, right? Like if there's something wrong in your business and it's been a repeated cycle, or something's just not right, like if you don't know what's wrong, then how are you going to fix it, right? It's just like in your home. If something's wrong in your home, like you have to figure it out. Like you're responsible. Like you may or may not have kids, but this is something that has to be figured out. Like you can't just leave it, right? If something breaks, you have to fix it because you have to use it. It's the same thing in business. So if you guys applied your normal way of living and being and the normal functions that you do on a day-to-day basis into business, it's the same thing, right? Like when do you ever stop thinking about your home or your children or what needs to get done or what bills need to get paid? Never. It's the same thing in business. It's the same exact thing, but just different things.
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay. Um, Yeah, so this was really powerful. This framework. Like this is like the type of stuff that will help you make those leaps and bounds in your business. It's the mindset, okay? It's just like how big can you go, right? That's the perspective. Like once you have a perspective shift, then it's game over. That's all it is. It's when I was working like full time, making $8 an hour, I didn't know that I can make $100,000 in a year, right? All I knew was, oh, $8 an hour, right? That's like $20,000 a year or less than that.
I think it's less than that.
That's less than
I was
that.
paid $7 an hour before.
Yeah.
It's
So,
less
so,
than
but
that.
so the point is like when you're making a certain level of income, right? You kind of, your mindset just kind of says, okay, that's where I'm at,
Mhm.
right? There, I forgot what this is about, but there is something, there's a lesson in this. But basically, it's about stretching the vision. It's about stretching your comfort zone. It's about stretching where you are currently to where you want to go or where you can go, right? Because it's possible, right? If we went from, $8 an hour or $16,000 a year to $100,000 a year to $1 million a year to $10 million a year to whatever the number is, why is that possible? Why was that? Why were we able to do that? Right? It's simply because it's about the being again. Okay. It goes back to who you are and to what you think is possible. Right. If you are brand new in your business, right? What's possible? What do you think is possible? You know, the importance of blueprints is to find out what people are thinking in their mind. Is to find out what is possible for them. There's someone that we blueprinted and they said that they want, if they can make an extra $500 a month, they would be happy. There's another person that said if they can make an extra $50,000 a month, they would be happy. What is the difference there? What is the difference in the mind, in the mindset? Does that make sense? Right? This is for everything that you do. This is for your employees, right? Asking them like, what is their goals? That's what we care about. We always ask our employees like, what's their goals? What's the vision for their life? If I'm able to support them to achieving their goals and dreams, why wouldn't I? Even as an employer, even if the employee leaves, I don't care because guess why? It's simply because their life is now better. That's where you go from scarcity into abundance as an employer. Okay. So all these people, as entrepreneurs, anyone who's an entrepreneur, business owner, right? It's not just about yourself, right? Especially when you have a team, especially when you have employees, especially when you have people looking up to you, when you have people leaning on you, when you have people that are like you are their leader, right? Guess what? How are you supporting them as a leader? How are you showing up? How are you contributing to their success? How are you contributing to their goals and dreams? How are you supporting them? You don't have to bend over backwards to help them out, but at least give them a chance. At least give them a chance, a way, belief, proof that it's possible because it is, right? And once you do that, and especially if they're on your team, then guess what? It's a win-win situation, right? It's a win-win situation. That was a really good quote from the book I'm reading, and they said that in relationships, because life is long, you never know how it's going to get back to you, right? It's always worth it to help someone out because life is long. That's basically what's saying. And so when you do help someone out, no matter what their situation is, in the future, some way, somehow, and I guess some people would call this karma, right? It'll come back to you in ways that you can't even imagine. That's what it talks about. Okay, so it's very powerful. So we have 15 minutes left and the baby's awake. The question for you from this training right here is how can you apply, this business framework, Maslow's hierarchy of needs in business terms to your business today? What is one thing that you can change in your business that's going to make all the difference? And again, right? Testing everything. You want to test everything. If you haven't like drawn on like a piece of paper, like, personal brand, business, IPAs, marketing, like all your platforms, like just a roadmap for your business, a business model, right? Then I highly suggest to do it today because it's going to give you clarity on where you're going. It's going to give you clarity on what you're doing. It's going to give you clarity on what is the next steps, right? It's going to allow you to just say, this is the problem and this is the solution. Now here's the gap. How do I get to the solution? Right? There's another thing called OKRs. OKR stands for like objective key results. And basically, like, this is a pretty good like framework that I just discovered. And it's just about like laying everything out so that way you can really just analyze the data and then get the results. Analyze data, get results. Analyze data, get results. In business, there is both the psychology, the mental side of it, which is really everything. It's about your you. It's about you. If you have personal problems, then you're gonna have business problems. And if you have business problems, it may affect your personal. It just depends. But personal, most likely, more than often, always affects the business side, right? If you have a job, you have personal issues at home, doesn't that seep into your job sometimes, right? It seeps into the professional work. It's that right there. What is the one thing that we need to change then? It's the personal side. It's working on yourself, becoming the best version of yourself. That's what it is. So just keep everything as simple as possible, so that way you can move the needle forward in your life and work on it. When you start to like work on yourself and everything in your personal life is going up, everything is going into the positive, guess what? Your business starts to get amplified because your energy transfers, because it's you, you know? So this is the importance of always being aware, self-aware, working on yourself and actually doing the work, like not just showing up and not doing anything, like actually taking the time to be intentional to work on you. Then from there, by you working on yourself, you don't have to tell anyone else to work on themselves because you're the example now. They follow your lead. They see you do it and they're like, oh, I gotta do this. I gotta get better. Why? Because they're inspired. They're not motivated, but they are inspired to now make a decision and take action to get better on themselves. That's the role of a leader. Okay. There's a really good meme that they show a boss and a leader. A boss is, you go do this, and they're whipping them. They're in the back whipping everyone. That's what the boss is. And then the leader is leading from the front, arrows in the front and the back. And they're like, yo, like, we're doing this together. Let's do this. Let's lead. I'm here to lead everyone to victory. Let's go. That's the difference, okay? It's the same exact thing in your job. Whatever position you're in, are you, even if you're not in a management position or a leadership position in your job, how can you be the best leader that you can be? And here's why, okay? It's because if you are an employee in your job, well, guess what? You have something on the side. You have a vehicle that can help other people achieve freedom. That's why it's important for you to be a leader in your job. Why not influence all your coworkers who are stuck in the same position as you, who may or may not want freedom, may not want more? For me, when I was working the full-time job and I had a vehicle on the side, I had an opportunity to make extra income so that way I can get out of that job that I didn't want to be in. I was doing my best to be an example so I can recruit as many people from that job with me. Okay? Why? Because it's a win-win situation. They are not happy. They are stressed out. They're complaining about their bills. They're complaining about this and that. They're complaining about their job. They're complaining about their boss. Complaining about blah, 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 blah. List goes on and on. And I'm stuck with them. I have to clock in and clock out every single day and listen to this garbage. Okay? Because I know that they're not working on themselves. I know that they're not doing personal development. I know that they don't have coaches or mentors. Well, guess what? And I'm talking about a real personal experience of mine, 2013. So I find this opportunity and I'm like, this is the freedom. It's the freedom ticket. Guess what? Guess what they all did? They didn't join me. Instead, they hated on me and they tried to pull me back down. There's a really good story about the crabs in the bucket and how you are a crab in a bucket full of crabs. And you just are like, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I want out. I want freedom. I know that there's a better way. I know that I have a different vision for myself, a different path I can go on. So I'm trying to climb out of that bucket. You're trying to climb out of that bucket. Well, guess what? All the other crabs in that bucket don't want that freedom. They don't want that achievement. They don't want those other goals and dreams. So this is what happens. They actually pull you down with them. They pull you back into the bucket and you can never get out. Yes, that's why I left my last job. Toxic environment. Exactly. 100%. Yeah. So wherever you're at, right? When you have a job, guess what? You may have coworkers. If you have coworkers, You have the opportunity to either be in the follower position or the leadership position. I encourage every single person here who has a job, who has coworkers, to do your best to work on yourself, because one day a coworker may be influenced by you and they may become a follower of you. They will join your team. They'll join you. That's what happens, okay? When you become the influencer in your circle, whatever circle that may be, whatever job it is, whatever environment it is, whether it's toxic or not, whatever that may be, you have the opportunity and chance, and literally you have the possibility to become that leader in that circle, regardless if you are not the boss or you're just the employee. It doesn't matter.
Or compensation. If you're not being compensated to be that leader or boss that you speak of, it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, it's about you and your improvement within yourself. And where I see a lot of, I would say where I see a lot of people fail is they want the promotion, they want the title, they want the pay, but they're not willing to do the work or put in the work until they achieve that status, right? But it doesn't work like that in business and in life. If you can't prove yourself and you're not doing the best of your ability, why would someone want to promote you? Why would they be like, oh, okay, well, if I pay you this much, then you'll act like you earn that much? Because then they're only doing like a tit for tat situation, right? Like where I see people stand out the most is when it doesn't matter what their status, what their title is, and what they're paid is day in and day out. They do the best that they can do, regardless of what they're receiving back. And after a while, people will take notice. They will take notice. You're working on yourself. You're doing great. Like you're taking on more responsibilities and you're not even paid to do these things, but yet you still do the best of the best of your ability. And then you still have time to help others, right? Like you are working on yourself, you're improving your skill set, and you're really showing like what you're capable of, right? Eventually one day you will get that promotion, right? You will get that title. And if not, but you built up all these skills over all this time, like there may be recruiters or headhunters that are like, hey, I see what you're doing. Why don't you come to like my company and I will compensate you for what you are doing, just because you've worked to a point where you have those skills, right? Like I was working in a business before and I was doing 10 different jobs, 20 different jobs. Was I paid for 10 or 20 different jobs? No, I wasn't. But did I still do the best of my ability and still continue to do as much as I could? Yes, I did. And because I always learned everything in every department and was willing to jump in at any time anyone needed me, like that developed my skill set. And I could have been like, well, I'm not going to get paid for that, so I'm not going to do that. But in the end, who is it hurting? Like you're really only hurting yourself, because if you have an opportunity to learn and to grow and to have more experience, then that is for you. That's your self-education, right? And your self-improvement. And then eventually when you know everything about every department and every task, and you're always willing to do things, which means you're always willing to learn from other people's experience, right? They're teaching you. Then guess what? One day, like you're ready to go. You're either ready to go to another job that's going to offer you more because you know exactly what you're worth. You can now articulate onto a resume or whatever, or you just get better and better in your business, right? Like that is like one step from being someone who works for someone else to being someone that works for themselves, right? Is the self-improvement, and not just being like, well, if I'm not going to get paid for that, I'm not going to do that. Like, right, great. Like you can do that, but you're just hurting yourself as well, right? And so I think it's like in self-development, what are we always trying to do? We're always trying to develop ourselves regardless of the influences around us, right? Because sometimes the people around us, maybe they don't want that for themselves. So you're like, why should I improve myself to like, so you can benefit off of me, like, no, it's like in the end, you yourself are going to be the person that benefits the most from your self-improvement, your self-development in life and in business. It carries over, right? Like if you are one way in your personal life, guess what? You're like that in your business, because regardless of what business, what job, what company you go to, like you still take you with you, right? So if you keep experiencing the same issues in business and in life and in relationships with people, guess what? it's probably you. It's probably a big part of you because you take you with you, right? Like, how is everybody else that doesn't even know each other still acting the same or treating you the same way? Like, it's you, it's your boundaries, it's your limitations, it's your beliefs, it's your own improvement, right? So it goes back to always blaming yourself, right? Taking that accountability and being like, why am I where I am? How come I don't have this? How come I don't have that? How come I'm over here and not over there? Look at yourself, like, look in the mirror. It's because of you. It's not because of your team. It's not because of your boss. It's not because of your associations. It's just you.
Yeah, and that's the truth, right? And that's good. It's good to know the truth. So guess what? This gives you opportunity to work on yourself. It gives you the opportunity to start to step up. And again, like what Crystal said, like this is just a benefit to you. Who benefits by you getting better? You, right? That's the beauty of it. So yeah, it's just, it's about the mindset though. It's about, do you have a fixed mindset or a growth mindset? That's why I dropped the name, I dropped that book, Carol Dweck, Mindset. It talks about that literally. And don't force, like, this is something that is a mistake when people, especially as a leader, like you have other people following you and they say that they want this and that, but as a leader that they're not coachable. Well, guess what? When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. When the student is not ready, the teacher will disappear. So you as the teacher, right? Everyone is a student and teacher at the same time. Depending on who you're with, the roles may switch. But when you are in the position of a teacher, it's your job, it's your responsibility to know when the student is ready, and to know if the student is coachable, and to know if the student's actually taking it seriously. And if they're not, then don't waste your time. I'm telling you that right now. Don't waste your time. Just focus and refocus on the next person that is actually like going to be a good student, and then keep on doing that over and over again. And you as a student now, where's your teachers? Who are you learning from? Who are your guides, your mentors, your coaches? Who are the ones that are holding you accountable? Right? That's why I talked about accountability. Like that right there is everything. Who are you holding yourself accountable to? And don't hold yourself accountable just to yourself. Like, reinforce that accountability. Like, let's step it up, reinforce it, so that way you can get to the next level. This is super important. Okay. Like, I mean, it's important to me. So if it's important to you, then you'll take this seriously. And again, like, today is November 15th. Okay. 2023. 1 year from now, where are you going to be? 1 year from now, where are you gonna what are you gonna look like? Sorry, on my phone. 1 year from now, is your life gonna be different? Right? What's everything gonna look like? What life do you want to live? 1 year, okay? 1 year, a lot can happen. A lot can change in 1 year. The next person that joins you, their life can literally be different, right? 1 year from now. It's so true. And it happens like that because your mind is starting to expand. Okay. So that's the point I wanted to make right there. All right. Today and moving on, right? Every single time you show up, how are you evolving? How are you getting better? How are you going closer to your goals and dreams? What is changing? How are you changing? How serious are you with your goals and dreams in your life? Are you stepping it up? Are you actually taking it seriously? Are you actually doing the work? Are you being the leader and not the follower? What is it? Okay. What is it for you as a leader? A challenge to all leaders. How are you supporting your people on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, on a quarterly basis, on a yearly basis? How are you supporting yourself on your personal needs? What needs to change? What needs to evolve? What needs to grow? What part of you is hurting and needs some healing? What part of you is in pain, but can know that you can push through it? Right? What is it? Right? Once you fix all that stuff, guess what? Or you just get better at it. You work on yourself a little bit on the personal side, your business explodes. Okay. I'm telling you that right now because you have a new injection of energy into areas of your business where it needs it the most. All right. It's going to demand a next level version of you. Who is that next level version of you? All right. So this is, we're going to wrap it up. Next week is November 22nd. Are we going to be here?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. We'll be on fire.
We come
Then.
back
All
on
right.
Monday.
I didn't know if we were traveling or not.
We're
So
going to Vegas.
Yeah, this weekend we're gonna be in Vegas. Whoever's in Vegas, there's F1 weekend this weekend. So there's opportunities to network, opportunities to expand your relationships, opportunities to close some deals, opportunities to start a new business venture, opportunities to crush it. All right, to dominate your path. If you are in proximity in Vegas, if you live in Vegas, if you're near Vegas, get to Vegas and let's link up. All right. Crush it, dominate your path. Jackie, we'll see you over there. All right.
We'll see you there, Jackie.
Enjoy. Peace out. Love
And
you all.
Lenny, maybe.
Yes. All right.
Bye. Love you guys.